Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And here it is. I speculated yesterday, we were talking about The Witcher Blood Origin. I speculated yesterday that eventually the media was going to turn on it. They were going to say that it was being unfairly review bombed. And like clockwork,
Here it comes.
Here it comes, guys.
Yeah, this morning, actually, it was funny. I saw that they had put the new article up about, it's review bombed by Henry Cavill novel fans. And I went and saw that the other article was there. And right when I was going to post it, because I had posted another tweet before this, you sent me over to Data Racer. 117 had already, caught it and put it up too, because I had caught it as well. It's just so predictable, especially with CBR.
Yeah, so this is not the first time that we've pointed out that CBR, the right hand doesn't seem to know what the left hand is doing. I think they basically just run whatever they can run because...
the guy, the journalist who tried to argue with me told me that they try to look at it from all angles, which means they contradict themselves constantly to try to get more hits.
It's all about churning out content. CBR cranks out, I think, like 100 articles a day or something like that. And of course, the ad revenue is drying up, so they're probably cranking out more. I don't think they're really checking stuff. They're just running with it. Anyway, we're going to talk about this because really the two main sites running with the narrative that's being unfairly review bombed would be Valnet sites, CBR and ScreenRant.
Yeah, they're owned by the same place.
Both owned by the same place and both using very similar headlines, but literally
just changing one word or one or two words around.
Yes, and it's probably for SEO reasons, but the reality is that everybody hates this show. Critics hate this show.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at. I'm like, it's review bomb, but the critics score shit too. And only 25 people reviewed it that were critics.
Yeah.
No one cares. Not even the critics.
Not even the critics. So we're going to talk about this. I've seen clips of it, and to me it looks like a bad D&D LARPing.
Squid King was making
YouTube.
fun of it. He was telling me about how bad it was. He was like making fun of how bad it was.
It looks terrible. I'm not going to waste my time to watch the whole thing. Let's just talk about the drama. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Almost 284,000 subs. Thank you for the support. Hope everybody's having a happy holiday season.
I wasn't there yesterday, so belated Merry Christmas.
Belated Merry Christmas and preemptive Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's only going to be on one video today, so.
Yeah, Geeky's not feeling too good today.
I am not okay today.
So she's a trooper though. She's gonna get through this one. But yeah, Netflix got a lump of coal in their stocking this year.
So I would say the fans got a lump of coal in their stocking this year.
Yeah, and the thing about this is that everybody is calling out that one, this is the worst audience score in the history of Netflix. Okay, but also people are pointing out, and again, this is coming from other outlets, not just YouTubers. They're pointing out that Blood Origin signals trouble for the franchise going forward. I mean, between this and losing Henry Cavill, there literally is no reason to invest in this franchise at this point. It's awful. And the sad thing is they actually have some pretty good
that's what's sad. I know, but but you can't. Nothing can save this shitty writing, I guess.
Yeah, it's a shame. So let's talk about this. Let's go out to the narrative here now. Just to point out again. We've talked about this before. We did a video that so many of these pop culture sites are all owned by the same handful of companies.
Right. So under ValNet, we have ScreenRant, CBR, Collider, MovieWeb, GameRant. That's just, that's all owned by the same place.
Yeah. So what happened was a lot of these websites, this is what's so sad about this, being a fan and having followed a lot of these websites back in the day, is they were all started with the best of intentions by fans, for fans, and then these corporations came in and started gobbling them up, and then they consolidated them, and now they're basically just clickbait farms, and they crank out as much content as they can.
It's like, which flavor of shit do you want?
Which flavor of shit? Because it's all coming from the same anus, right? That Canadian anus named Valnet. But so ScreenRant had this. Now look at the headlines here. The Witcher Blood Origin review bombed by Henry Cavill and novel fans. Goes CBR, The Witcher Blood Origin is getting review bombed by novel and Henry Cavill fans. We had to reverse it to see which performed better. Yeah.
Yeah, and it says like we're mad because the reviews are shit, so obviously it's just salty fans review bombing it. Never mind that the critics hate it. Never mind again that the same sites that are blaming the fans for hating it gave it shitty reviews themselves.
Yeah, CBR actually reviewed it. They gave it a bad review, but there's an article out there talking about how it's getting unfairly.
No, I think the CBR article, the review, they have it listed as fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, even though it basically was like it's meh.
It's meh. Yeah, we'll go out to the actual reviews here. Let's read the narrative first, and then we'll go out to the actual reviews. So coming from CBR, and it's basically the same article as
now you can tell it's marked TV news, because don't you know with CBR, according to the guy who tried to get in a fight with me about me calling out the hypocrisy about Patty Jenkins, because they were one of the ones leading the charge on the rumor that Patty Jenkins had stormed out of the meeting or whatever. Yeah. And then they did put a correction up in another article. And then they're like, these people running with these rumors is what hurts people, as they were one of the ones running with the rumors. But, because one's marked feature and one's marked news, everybody, even though they're all listed in the same way, everybody should just know that.
CBR, one of the journalists tried to jump you on Twitter. The thing is they're not actually listed like on our sites. If something's a review or an opinion, we actually mark it in the headline, op-ed or opinion, review. Now they did that with the review. This is just the breadcrumb trail. This is where it's filed on the website. This isn't actually they're not actually putting a huge tag on here telling you.
Well, if you go to the thing, that sometimes they'll say news, and it's a category.
That's a category.
You're supposed to know features mean that it's my opinion.
No.
My opinion is you're full of shit. Anyway, so this is what they're immediately running with is, it's because it's being review bombed, that's why. And people that are salty because they're the book fans or Henry Cavill fans. Well, aren't you doing this show for the fans? I mean, that's what I never understand. They say they use an IP that's established, has a huge fan base. Be it this, be it Star Wars, be it She-Ra, be it whatever. And then they make a bunch of stupid ass changes and change it till it's unrecognizable, or they make shit up whole cloth. And then people are like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, or I have questions, or I don't like it as much as the original. It's because you're a toxic shithead person, and they go and attack the fans. But the only reason you have an IP worth doing anything with is because of the fans.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I never understood that. It's like, why spend millions of dollars or $1 billion in the case of Lord of the Rings if you're going to create something completely different whole cloth? It's because of the brand recognition.
It's not even something completely different. They go out of their way to spite fans, to be like they admit they hate the source material, and then I like it. I would like it if it wasn't these things. They go and write these things for their own fan fiction, and then when other fans don't like it, it's because they're shitty, horrible, toxic people.
Yeah, so this is basically, it's weird. The headline says that they're review bombing it, and there were a lot of new accounts created just to, give it a 1-star review.
But there were also a lot of new accounts people said created to give it a 10-star review as well.
Yes. So let's see if this is the same variation of the. Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same article. It's pretty much the exact same article. Now they're talking about the Cavill fans having a problem with Liam Hemsworth, which again, I don't think that's. What's
that have to do with Blood Origin?
Because that is more backlash toward the series in general. The Witcher is basically dead on arrival. Netflix doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Lauren Hisrich, I did in the video yesterday, she's out there doing damage control, saying season 3 is going to be the closest to the book so far. And she can't wait for people to see it, and yada, yada, yada.
Well, they turned them all off from all the changes made prior. But they're like, that's like the dialogue feels woefully underwritten. And they gave Michelle Yeoh very little to do, which is that's a sad thing, right?
That is a sad thing. I was talking to Squid King, and our both of our favorite movie of the year was actually Everything Everywhere All at Once, and
she got robbed from nominations.
Amazing movie, and the only thing that even had me remotely interested in watching this shit show was her being in it, but apparently she's barely in it, so because they could afford it.
But don't you know the narrative will be that you hate women and you hate people that aren't white?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the only reason I would watch it, is if she was the lead or something, and but yeah, they don't really. Yeah, so I saw some scenes. They had a hallway corridor fight scene. And I'm like, what'd they do? Rip off a Daredevil or something? And it's like, no, it looks like a bad, a YouTube LARPing video filmed at a convention. It looks really low rent. And then the funny thing is you look at this and then you compare it to screenshots coming out for Witcher 3, the game. And the game looks so much better than live action. It just looks really budget cut. I have no interest in watching this, especially after season 2 of Witcher. I mean, season 1 of Witcher was okay. It was all right, but season 2 was terrible. It was not good. And I have no intention of watching the 3rd season, Cavill or no Cavill. But yeah, people are making their displeasure known, but the media is going to run with, of course, contradict themselves and be like, it's just toxic fans, even though it's not. Even though in the article we're going to say it's actually not. It's actually getting hammered. It's actually getting hammered all over the place. So let's look at some of these reviews. Espinoff, what is that? From the get-go, it's clear Witcher Blood Origin isn't even interested in giving dramatic depth to the story. Okay, so it's a Spanish thing. Yeah. Here, Guardian. It's never dull, and if you're concerned that Blood Origin sounds good, but it's on Netflix, which means it might wang on for 14 hours. Nope.
Well, according to everybody else, it does wang on for 14 hours.
2 out of 5. The TV equivalent in a way of a tangentially related hyperlink that you end up clicking while reading about something else on Wikipedia. Ouch. We got this covered. We actually have that one pulled up. Lackluster, unoriginal, and carried through on the promise of better things. Blood Origin is a mediocre affair. Michelle Yao is wasted. Lenny Henry lacks conviction. Mini Driver goes some great narration. Mini Driver what is that? Is that English? Mini Driver goes some great narration. Does best avoided. 3 out of 5. Blood Origin is to the Witcher television show as a slapdash downloadable expansion pack would be to the massively popular video games. It's been done to death. This one's it's a time waster. Yeah, these are all review
the negatives. Yeah, the Witcher. Without the anchor that keeps the franchise grounded, really it's just a fantasy story without any things that make it work.
Yeah, here's CBR. They somehow, like you said, they gave it a positive, but it's actually not a positive. It's not a positive. You click on this. Talented cast is let down by a mediocre story. How is that a positive review? It's not. Largely flat performances.
Tacky special effects is what you said.
Yep. There's very little here that must be seen if you're a fan of The Witcher. There's nothing that would look like someone who hasn't checked out the show already.
Even this positive. Most of these characters, and therefore Blood Origin itself, remain frustratingly limited. Like rough sketches that haven't quite been fleshed out enough. 3 out of 5 that's fresh.
The vibe I get from this is they preemptively said, when they were actually working on the first Witcher season, that they wanted to turn The Witcher into like an MCU style event.
I had no interest in it. When I saw the commercials for this and the animated thing, I was like, I don't care. I don't think anybody else cares. But my takeaway is what 25 or 26 critics reviewed it, and that's it.
Yeah, that's weird.
And there's not that many audience reviews either.
So I have a theory about that. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I also think they're not giving out screeners, because normally what happens is if they think they have something, they send out screeners to critics because they're not going to seek it out on their own. They're going to be like, here's a nice little packet of fluff. Review our show, and here's a disc, and you can watch it. I think they were hiding this one. I think they knew it was dog shit. And they're just kind of like, yeah, we'll just kind of release it on the down low. Hey, everybody, it's Witcher. And they pointed out in another article that it did shoot to the top of Netflix's top 10 the day it was released.
Then everybody saw how bad it was?
Yeah, and a lot of people were hate watching it, but a lot of people, again, the brand recognition. Oh, it's more Witcher. I'm going to watch more Witcher. Where the hell is Henry Cavill? Why does this look like bad D&D cosplay? What is going on here? And the thing is you got to watch it because Netflix's takeaway from that will be like, look, a lot of people watched it.
Yeah.
A lot of people watched
it.
Let's make more. Yeah, it's like you're competing with House of the Dragon and the Rings of Power. And
this is the bottom. That's saying something because the Rings of Power was in there. But at least the Rings of Power looked better.
Yes, I will give you that. The one saving grace for the Rings of Power is that it actually looked pretty decent. I mean, yeah, there were some problems with the armor and all that jazz, but compared to this, what I have seen of this, it looks incredibly cheap. And that's probably what things are going to be like. Starting next year, I think everything is going to be incredibly cheap because Hollywood is running out of money. These streaming services are running out of money.
YouTube, people are going to make better movies and shows than Hollywood.
Yeah, we're kind of getting there right now. So anyway, we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.